We are just not a country. I would repeatedly say we are a subcontinent. Comfortably, you guys bring in a NEET and put it and throttle us down our throat. So when it comes to rule, also tell us we are far more ahead of you and leave us alone. Don't want UGC, we don't want workforce, we don't want one nation, one election, we don't want lateral entry, we don't want indexation, we don't want all these things. Give us state autonomy.
Is DMK trying to protect the accused because he is a DMK supporter?
A governor has to obey to the state and follow. If he had properly put the vice chancellors in all the university, this issue wouldn't have happened.
Hello, Federal viewers. Welcome to a special interview with DMK parliamentarian Ms. Kanimuri Somu. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Da. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
To
ma'am.
you and to your viewers.
Thank you. Ma'am, I would like to start this interview with issues concerning the youth, particularly students. The UGC has brought in new draft regulations, and the Union Education Minister says the new draft promises inclusivity, transparency, and flexibility. But there is a sense of apprehension and fear from non-BJP ruling states, particularly Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and West Bengal. DMK has even passed a resolution against the draft regulation. It's just a draft. Why DMK is very touchy about this?
We cannot call this just a draft, okay? This is how they said when they brought a new education policy too, way back 3 years before. And we have seen how the rate of students getting into the education system has come down by 1.56 crores compared to the previous 3 years, than compared to the academic year of 23-24. So this is not just a draft. We are just not a country. I would repeatedly say we are a subcontinent with lot of ethnicity, lot of languages, and lot of varied cultured people. We're all put together like a honeycomb with so many people building up the country. It's just not one person. Okay. The same way we said, it was also said for the workforce, which is not required at all, which is penalizing the Muslim population again. The same, we raised the voice for one nation, one poll. That is not just a draft, we can call it. Same way, UGC is just not a draft. Time and again, the governing BJP in the center has been bringing out which is going to disturb the state autonomy. What is required for Kerala? What is required for West Bengal? They have to categorize. Just because those people didn't vote for you, it doesn't mean you cannot keep on and on penalizing the same population. You're only going to become going backward in that. The people's anger is going to be more.
If the draft regulation of the UGC will take us backwards, don't you think this would also affect others? It's not just, they are implementing this draft regulation only for non-BJP ruling states. It's going to be pan-India. So, do you think BJP, even the BJP-led government, did not think about it? The draft regulation would have all the ill effects if you say so.
See, all the BJP ruling states are under their influence and their control. So they would not put out the voices or they will not have issues. They only have to just listen to what they have to say. This is what we call it as non-federalism. We want federalism inside the country. State autonomy should be respected. So the voices of state also is here. We as a state are not just going to develop that state alone. We as a state develop, it's going to the contribution of the people, whoever is sitting there and doing the rule in the center. It's just not for Tamil Nadu. When you bring this, you are giving more powers to who in the UGC? Tell me. Not to the local people. Again, all these commands come from there. So how would any problem or any issue in the state would be addressed? That's the reason our current CM, Mr. M.K. Stalin, had also put the post in the Twitter, you would have seen, and also we had passed a resolution. Not only that, before that, lateral entry was brought. That is again an issue. Then tax indexation was brought. Then one nation, one poll. Going back, your workforce. Going back, your national education policy. Like this, one by one, you are just crabbing up the state. You're just throttling the state's voice. Why do you want to do that? You're not doing a president rule over here. Okay. We call you as a union of states. India's union of states. You're not one just sole single thing.
Actually, UGC wants to bring in these regulations to strengthen those universities.
Do you think only the center can strengthen? I don't think so. We have been contributing to the state education. Primary schools, corporation schools were the first to come out in Tamil Nadu. We have been educating people for free of cost. Why we want to educate so much? We have brought out the structure from the scrap. We have invested so much by step, and we have brought the big palace of education. And now you come and give us the rules, you follow UGC. The grant which we get from the center is very, very meager compared with the contribution given by the state and by the state education. Our GDR is much more than compared to the country. Tamil Nadu stands higher up than the country level. You are only now striving to go to that level. We have already achieved that 10 years ago, a decade ago, we have achieved our GDR and we are ahead of you.
Okay.
Okay, that is one thing. Same thing, the primary health centers concept was brought under Muttamalinga Dr. Kalinga's reign. When our Perasriyar Anbalagan was our health minister, we brought out the primary health centers. That is the backbone of our health sector scheme, which is taking forward and catering all the strata people, whether they are economically downtrodden or socially downtrodden. Everywhere there is a primary health center where there are doctors and nurses, and even deliveries are conducted there. Our institutional delivery rate is definitely higher than compared to the rest of the country. Why? Because we have brought in, and comfortably you guys bring in a NEET and put it and throttle us down our throat. Why should we have NEET? Why people all over the world, we have famous doctors, famous educationists, and you can always see they were all from Tamil Nadu. We have catered so many people across the country and across the world. When we have developed so much, how all this has happened? The basic educational structure and the basic health infrastructure, which started catering the people from the reign of the first DMK reign, from Aringar Anna time, Muttamalinga Dr. Kalingar time, and now currently by our MK Stalin sir. We have been doing this. That is the reason we are competing with the rest of the world and not just with India. We are in par with the world. You take any famous surgeon, anybody, it's all from Tamil Nadu. That is one thing which I think the center is not able to digest it down the throat. That's the reason they want to keep on throttling. For them, anything they do like this might be beneficial for their states. But we have already reached a certain level. I think if they want to implement, they can at least give a choice to the state, stating that depending upon that state growth and the GER, the education rate, the infrastructure rate, I think policy decisions can be catered to depending upon the state and how their growth is.
Okay.
Now, for an example, you take your last 3-4 budgets, okay? For Tamil Nadu, no schemes, no fund. For West Bengal, no schemes, no fund. Same thing, okay? Why? Because you say we have grown. So when it comes to funding, you say we have grown. So when it comes to rule, also tell us we are far more ahead of you and leave us alone. For fund, you want fund, but you want to use our basic structure and infrastructure for you to put the rules and bring in your people. This is where a social injustice is happening repeatedly, and this is where is federalism, the basic structure is just getting crapped up. This is what we are saying. We don't want UGC, we don't want work food, we don't want one nation, one election, we don't want lateral entry, we don't want indexation, we don't want all these things. Give us state autonomy. That is the need of the hour for every state.
Okay, I understand. Okay, I'll take you to the ongoing assembly session in Tamil Nadu. It's not just ADMK, the opposition ADMK, even DMK's own allies, CPM and VCK, are concerned about the law and order in the state. Particularly, there was a recent incident of a rape of a student in the prestigious Anna University. So it really questions the safety of women in the education institutions. The detail of the accused was given even to the media houses like us. It took almost one day for us to get to know who the accused was. So is DMK trying to protect the accused because he is a DMK supporter?
He is a Anudabi of DMK, the exact word. Okay, he has a good feeling for DMK, that person. That is all. That is one's own discretion. With that, we cannot say, yes, DMK is trying to protect. In fact, the incident took place within 24 hours. We had arrested, Gundas was there, and the FIR leak, the NIC itself has claimed that because of this, the three laws which was initially introduced into the parliament, the Bharatiya Sanhiha and all that, from the criminal proceedings, that glitch has brought the FIR out. Otherwise, usually when you put an FIR, it goes in for an auto lock. That didn't happen because of the conversion of all these names and thing. That is a glitch which was caused by the NIC, and they have accepted that. So it is not this. And nobody's trying to protect him. You would have seen the pictures of he being arrested. His arrest was there, his inquiry was there. He is into the Gundas Act. Okay. And more than that, this is the reason we keep on telling a governor has to obey to the state and follow. If he had properly put the vice chancellors in all the university, this issue wouldn't have happened. Okay? He is again and again putting his nose into all the problems. Correct? Vice chancellor list was sent by our state. It was not honored by the governor. He's supposed to honor it and put it. See, the list, governor is there is just to execute what the state says. Okay? And when there is a deep crisis, yes, he has a few powers to execute. Otherwise, he only has to listen to what the state government says.
Can you please explain to our audience what went wrong with the Vengai Vale investigation? 2 years ago, human feces was found. It was there in the drinking water tank of the Dalit colony in Vengai Vale village, and 2 years have passed. Why do you think Tamil Nadu government takes so much time to give this information? Why it is not published?
It's not that Tamil Nadu government is taking so much of time. It is a very sensitive issue and we have to handle it with great care. It's a fragile glass which we have in the hand. Just like that, we cannot penalize anybody. And I think the government is behind that and the CM is taking direct action into it. It's been 2 years, I don't deny on that. Yes, it is 2 years. But the government is taking care of it and we've been receiving all the reports of what is happening there. The DNA reports have also been on it. Just like that, without coming to a conclusion, we cannot penalize anybody and say, yes, this is the person. We have to be concrete enough before a government declares what it is. Now, for instance, take Anna University. We know that is the guy. So we were able to corner that guy and immediately take care of it. But here, that is not the case. It's a village and so many people are involved in that. We have to correctly find out the person before saying it out. That's only time which is involved in that.
Yeah, but don't you think justice denied, because of this
Very
delay?
true. Definitely, but you cannot penalize a wrong person also.
In the recent months, even DMK allies, they feel they are, prevented from going for a protest, and they are denied permission to go for a protest, to even for a rally. The CPM former secretary, Mr. Balakrishnan, mentioned whether Chief Minister Stalin has announced any undeclared emergency in the state. So, can you explain what went wrong with DMK's relationship with its allies? What happening in the northern states? We understand the India bloc, actually it is withering. We could see that, but does it reflect in Tamil Nadu also?
Definitely not. As far as the CPM is concerned, 5 days back, yes, Mr. Balakrishnan had spoken in Viluppuram. Yes, but I think he has also stated 20 rallies have taken place, protests have taken place in Tamil Nadu. With whose permission was it? It was under our reign. It's not that they have not been denied. And they are always in the position to always meet the Chief Minister at any point of time and give the agenda, what is the need. And he's been honoring all the opposition. It's not that you cannot meet the CM. You can right royally walk in, and one Chief Minister in India whom you can meet 24/7 is our Chief Minister, Mr. M.K. Stalin. And as far as, and I think they had themselves have sorted out among their own party. And as far as our Thirumavalavan sir, VCK, he has also taken up the issue within his party and whoever has commented has sorted out. We have been having a strong ally which has not changed for the last 6-7 elections. Correct? Now we are going to face the Erode election also, which is going to come up. And the head will decide who's going to contest over there once the Congress party comes up with a name. So we are going to work for them. Time and again, we have been in coalition and we have been running the allies, and we've been persistently with the same people from the time of 2016.
Ma'am, you come from a political family. Your grandfather Natarajan had a very good rapport with the left parties, and during the first DMK cabinet, and in the further periods also, he was a tender and soft-spoken person and had a very good relationship with the left parties. Do you think that is not happening in Stalin's cabinet?
I wouldn't say much of equation has changed. It's just the thought process of how it's been evolving. Those days, what my grandfather did in a small sum is being done by our chief minister now in a larger connect, like taking care of the women. Like we have brought in uh, the Pudumai Pen Dittam, the Magalir Urimai Togai Dittam, and the Katanamilla Perundu Dittam, all for women, and including the educated people, which always the leftist has it, by giving them morning breakfast and making them to come to the schools and get them educated more. And not only that, including the laborers, always we look for the working category. That's the reason we include them. That's how those days it was with the left party, with my grandfather's time and my father getting into the labor union. And now the same thing our CM is currently implementing step by step, cutting across all the people. So we have never left them. It's only thing they are trying to voice out. Nothing wrong. Instead of asking it in a way, they has asked it in a public forum. But still, I think we have accommodated them, and our CM MK Stalin has rightly done everything. Is what is the time.
Okay, okay. Ma'am, how is your party getting ready for to face the 2026 assembly elections? We learned DMK has hired political strategists, which includes Robin Sharma also. Is that right?
See, whoever comes up for the political analyst strategies and all that, first and primemost is the pro incumbency which the DMK has currently. What is going on, what we have done for the people. We are first in ally with the people of Tamil Nadu. The other supporting system, as I said you, the analyst, the whoever is coming in, is for the need of the hour. We have come to an era where we require these people because of the social media, grown up social media. It's not that only Tamil Nadu is having social media, it's seen worldwide. Our elections are watched worldwide. For that, we need analyzations is required. For all these back end operations, yes, we need somebody there. For that, that hiring would take place. But the pro incumbency and what the CM has done for the people will talk more in 2026 elections.